On the dark night of the 8th of August, 1963, a Royal Mail train was racing from Glasgow to London. Inside one carriage, bags of cash worth £67 million today. The driver, Jack Mills, was speeding through the night when suddenly a red signal flashed ahead. This made no sense. That signal was never supposed to be red, but Jack Mills did what he was trained to do. He stopped the train, and in that silence, history was hijacked. What happened next sounds like a movie, but it was real. Hidden in the darkness, 15 criminals were waiting. This was the Great Train Robbery, the biggest robbery Britain had ever seen. Months earlier, mastermind Bruce Reynolds began planning something unheard of. Not a bank, not a vault, but a moving government train. He had inside information from a Royal Mail security officer whose identity is still unknown. The target was a secret carriage called the High Value Package Coach, used to transport cash. And on this night, everything aligned. Because of a bank holiday weekend, that coach carried £3 million, 12 times the usual amount. Even worse for security, the coach used had no alarm system. At 3 a.m., the gang struck. They covered the green signal, powered the red light with a battery, and cut the communication line. When the assistant driver stepped down to call for help, he was grabbed. Jack Mills resisted, so they hit him with an iron rod, knocking him unconscious. Then they did the unthinkable. They uncoupled the train and tried to drive it themselves. But panic set in, so they revived Jack Mills and forced him at gunpoint to drive the stolen train to Bradego Bridge. There, they tied the staff face down and began loading 2.5 tons of cash. In just 15 minutes, they loaded 120 mailbags onto a truck. Not a single bullet was fired. Before leaving, they issued one threat: "Don't move for 30 minutes, or you die." The gang escaped, celebrating with Monopoly played using real money. But they made one fatal mistake. They left behind fingerprints on a Monopoly board. Within days, police tracked them down. 14 of the 16 robbers were arrested. 2 were never caught, including the inside man. The court called it the robbery of the century. Most were sentenced to 30 years in prison. Bradego Bridge still stands today, known forever as Train Robbers Bridge. And driver Jack Mills, he never returned to work and died years later from his injuries. A perfect plan, one tiny mistake, and one of history's greatest crimes undone.